Hi everyone, welcome to College Algebra. My name is Eric Heinzman, I'm the instructor of this course. In this video, I'd like to go over how our course is going to run through Canvas. So when you log in, you will see this page here on the home page. There's two parts to it. Recent announcements will be posted up here that you can access, and then below here is just how to get started with the course. So we're going to be using MyLab Math as our homework system, so for the homework and the final exam. And to access it, you can click this link here, and I also have the link posted down here. So one of the first things that you should do is go to this link. I'll open up that page. You'll see this here. If you already have an account, you can click sign in to that account to access the class, or if it's your first time, you can actually click here where it says register. I'm going to go back to Canvas. You'll need this course ID to join the correct class. And down here I've posted some registration directions just in case you need a little bit more guidance on how to create your account. So like I said, all the homework and the final exam will be taken through MyLab Math. Also on this home page, I have a link to a free online calculator. So a calculator is required for this course, but you do not have to purchase one if you don't have one already. In fact, I'm going to go to this link here just to show you the Desmos calculator. It's relatively simple to use, so you can type equations in over here, like maybe something simple like y is equal to x plus 1, and then over here you actually see a picture of that equation. You can zoom in and out of it. You can graph multiple equations at the same time. So this will be like really useful for the homework in this class. So it's relatively user-friendly. You can click around and try it out if you'd like. And maybe if you've seen function notation before, you could say, I want to look at the graph of f of x is equal to, maybe I'll do something like x divided by x plus 1. So here you can get some pretty complicated equations. So like I said, this thing's really useful. You do not have to purchase a calculator. If you don't have one already, I would just recommend that you use this free online calculator here. I'm going to go back to Canvas. So again, on this home page, here, this is how to get started with MyLab Math, and then I have other links down here that you can use as well. So the announcements, the most recent ones, will appear up here, but also if I go to this next spot here on the side, you can actually view the announcements within this part too off of this tab. So I think the next thing to look at is going to be the syllabus, which I'll open here. There's a lot of information in here, so feel free to read over the whole document if you'd like. I'm just going to point out the highlights in this document. So for starters, probably importantly, here's my email address where you can contact me. Feel free to call me Eric, that's completely fine. If we scroll down a little bit, again, I posted a link to the online calculator. If you happen to have a TI-83 or 84 Texas Instruments graphing calculator, feel free to use that. That's great. If you don't have one, you do not have to purchase that. They're kind of expensive. Here, some textbook information. Probably the other important thing on the syllabus is how you're going to be evaluated in this class. What will constitute your grade? It's going to be homework, and that's going to be through MyLab Math. The final exam, which is 20% of your grade, that's going to be taken in MyLab Math as well. And the rest is going to come from quizzes, which are going to be submitted through Canvas. I'll talk about the quizzes in a little bit here. And then if you scroll down, here's a breakdown of your grade. There's more information. Feel free to look it over. At the very bottom here is the course topics. And then here's a link to the quizzes that are within Canvas themselves. Okay, I'll next go to working through the tabs here, the discussions tab. So there are two that you should see. There's a help forum and introductions, so you can click on help forum. If you have questions about anything with the course content, homework questions, how the course works in Canvas, you can post your question here. I monitor this, so I'll respond to it, but anyone can respond to questions that appear within the help forum. This will be a good way to communicate with other people in the class. If I go back, the other discussion is introductions. So after you've registered for MyLab Math and you've looked over the syllabus, you can click here to just give a brief introduction about yourself, and feel free to communicate with your classmates too. Okay, going back, if I click on the modules tab, This is a week-to-week breakdown of the assignments for the course. So here for week 1, if you open this up, at the top here is just something saying that there's a to-do list for these assignments here. And you can click on any of them. I'll click on section 1.2. These, by the way, all correspond to homework assignments that appear in MyLab Math. And so I'll click on this one first. The directions for each of the homeworks are all the same. Basically, I have posted here a video lecture. That's something that I've created and I posted in my YouTube page, as well as guided notes. So actually completed notes that you can look over too. So for each section, you can watch a video lecture on the content, and you can look over these notes, and that's that first step here. The second step is optional. You do not have to do this. But within MyLab Math, they provide their own video lectures and textbooks information as well. So if you'd like a different perspective than mine, it's optional, but you can always look through that content too, especially if you feel you need just a little bit more clarification on a subject. And after you've done those, either one or both of these things, you would then complete the homework assignment that is in MyLab Math by the due dates. So for all the homework assignments in this class, things are either due on Wednesdays or Saturdays, and those dates are posted in MyLab Math. Just to take a look at what maybe this video lecture looks like, I'll open up that page next. So here's a video lecture for section 1.2.
Rational equations.
So this one is, I think I'll pause that. This one here goes over solving a linear equation and then how you might enter your answer in MyLab Math. It's 15 minutes long. I try to keep the videos relatively short, but still covering all the content that you would need. Okay, I'll go back to Canvas. If you watch the video lecture, you can also look through the notes. I think I'm going to open that next. So for each of the sections, I've completed notes. So how you choose to work through these sections really is up to you. You could start by watching the video. Then you could open up these notes and scan through it just to make sure that you didn't miss anything when you're taking notes on the video lecture. And then you could go through the homework assignments that are in MyLab Math. Or you could even start with the homework in MyLab Math because you might have some familiarity with the topics that appear within the lesson. And if you're stuck on anything, you could then either go back to the video or you could scan through the notes just to make sure you didn't miss anything. So if you, again, going back to Canvas, if you look at these, I mean, really this is sort of my just recommendation as to how you can go through it. It is up to you how you actually approach each section. You could start with the homework and then just refer back to this information as is necessary. I'll go back. Again, we're still in the Modules tab. So like for week 1, all the assignments are just homework assignments through MyLab Math. However, weeks 2 through week 5 here, if I open up, let's say week 2, same idea. There's going to be a few homework assignments that are either due on Wednesday or Saturday. But for week 2, 3, 4, and 5, there's also a quiz that you will submit through Canvas. So what I'll do is I'll close this and go over to the Assignments tab. And in this tab, we have these upcoming assignments, Quiz 1, 2, 3, and 4, with their due dates. So Quiz 1, for example, is going to be due on July 22nd. So I'm going to open this up. So for Quiz 1, you can click on this to actually view what the quiz is. I think I'll open it. So here's a PDF document for Quiz 1. Essentially, you could, let's say, print this quiz, write all of your work on it, and then upload a PDF of your work into Canvas so I can grade it by hand. I like this just because I like to see your written work instead of just entering things directly into the MyLab Math homework system. You could also just put your work on a separate sheet of paper. You don't actually have to print this document. That would be completely okay too. I'm going to close this. So basically, either print it out and write your work on it, or put all of your work on a separate sheet of paper. But then after that, you can create a PDF document of that quiz. And if you scroll down, you would upload it here. So you can just drag and drop your file, which is your PDF of the quiz. The other thing that you will see in all of the quizzes, and I encourage you to just read through these directions on how to actually submit a quiz. But going down here, if you open quiz 1, and maybe there's a couple questions that you're not really sure how to solve, I've also included down here this optional practice quiz for quiz 1. So if you open up this is not required, but it's a bunch of similar questions to quiz 1 itself. Totally optional. I'm going to close this. But along with this practice quiz, I have a video where I walk through how to solve these problems. Also, there is a write-up of the solutions too. So here, let me zoom out a little bit. So here I solved a linear equation, and here's a write-up of what that would look like. So if you're not sure how to solve something, you can always refer to these practice quizzes. I'll close this. And then down here is the grades category. And again, there's 4 quizzes. This would represent your quiz average. At the end of the semester, I will enter in your homework average here, as well as the final exam. But that's where all of this information is contained. I will go back to the home page. And that's basically it. So feel free to explore this course and look around. Email me if you have any questions. So again, that is register for MyLab Math. Feel free to try out this free online calculator if you do not own a graphing calculator yourself. Look at the syllabus, kind of like just read through the highlights. Introduce yourself in the introductions forum, and then you can get started with the homework. Here again, referring to the modules, and the due dates are posted in MyLab Math.